Hi and welcome to Eden. I'm Kenneth. Now, it's been a while since we made our last Bittensor news episode, so we thought it's about time for a quick catch up. Let's get to it. Now, some time ago in a land far, far away, we took a look at the top 12 subnets on Bittensor. But since that video, so much has happened and there are way more subnets now. Currently, if you take a look on Taustats, you can find over 30 active subnets. Well, today we're going to take a look at one of the later ones. We're going to pick the highest numbered subnet to keep things simple. Subnet 37. Fine-tuning. Now, jumping over to Subnet 37's GitHub, we can see that this subnet is rewarding miners for fine-tuning large language models. Now, by practicing specific examples, the model will improve at handling certain tasks and prompts, becoming highly specialized. Now, at launch, Subnet 37 will be using the continuous stream of synthetic data provided by Subnet 18 to aid in training. Now, this is part of what is really cool about Bittensor's neural network. We have subnets working together and using each other's data to keep pushing innovation and progression forward. Now, this is of course not the first subnet to work together and use data from another subnet, but it's a lovely example of how things can work. Now, let's talk about Bit 1, the proposal that is also known as dynamic tau. Now, this is a change in Bittensor's incentive mechanism, designed to help fix some of the issues they have with their current global stake model. So what is dynamic tau all about? Well, the proposal suggests introducing a dual token system. We will still have the tau token, of course, but we will now also have the new subnet tokens. Here's how it works. Instead of staking your tau tokens directly, you convert them into these new subnet tokens. Now, the value of these subnet tokens isn't fixed. It changes based on market demand. So if the demand is high for a specific token, its value goes up. If the demand is low, the value goes down. Now, staking these tokens is straightforward. You choose a validator operating on a particular subnet and you stake your tokens there. You earn rewards in the form of these new subnet tokens, not tau. So this means if the value of your subnet tokens has gone up and then you unstake, you get back more tau than you put in. But remember, this is a two-way street. It could go the other way around. This new system spreads out control and makes the network more resilient. By decentralizing decision-making, it reduces reliance on a few central validators, making the network less vulnerable to single points of failure or manipulation. Plus, it opens up new ways for users to engage and potentially profit. But there are some challenges too, of course. It's more complex, it requires active management, you need to research and keep track of your investments. The value of your tokens can fluctuate, which adds a layer of risk, as we mentioned before. Also, there's a limit on the amount of subnets at any given time. If a new subnet is created, the lowest value subnet is phased out and its tokens are converted back into tau. So, in summary, dynamic tau is about making Bittensor more dynamic and market-driven. It decentralizes governance, rewards performance, and introduces new ways to engage with the network. While it's still a proposal, it could take months to implement, but it's a fascinating development to watch and it will be really interesting to see how it turns out. Next up, let's talk about the latest Bittensor updates and patches. Now, a lot has been happening since our last report, of course. Many updates, including several improvements and bug fixes, but also revamping of the login system to make it more efficient, compatibility improvements for different hardware, upgrades to user interfaces. Essentially, the entire protocol has undergone complete overhauls. However, the largest update comes in the progressive rollout of new subnet slots, allowing for a larger number of incentivized projects to be launched on Bittensor's network. Now, the amount of subnet slots has been increased from 32 to 45 since our last report. And that means more room for innovation and creativity. And we like that. Following the recent halt of the chain due to a malicious actor and an attack that affected multiple participants, Bittensor took the decision to halt all transactions and transfers, but also placed the OpenTensor chain validators behind a firewall and engaged safe mode on the chain. Now, the OpenTensor Foundation have been reviewing Subtensor and Bittensor code with a fine-tooth comb to ensure that no other attack vectors remain, and no other vulnerabilities were identified at the time of recording this video. They will be implementing a much stricter process for any additions to the project's code in the future, but also increasing audit frequency, improving general security, and monitoring changes with hawk eyes to minimize the risk of this happening again. But as with anything on the internet, security is essential, and I genuinely mean this. Please ensure you're always taking steps to protect yourself and your assets. Don't forget to frequently re-secure your wallets and always keep track of updates on projects you are invested in. And this is just a quick friendly reminder to everybody. We hope that you haven't missed that this is the month that Everett Scott is releasing his Bittensor documentary. Make sure you follow him so you don't miss out. That's all for today's Bittensor coverage. Now, we have covered quite a lot of ground, from exciting subnets to the major dynamic tower proposal. Bittensor continues to evolve and innovate, and we can't wait to see what comes next. Well, until next time, stay wonderful. Peace.